We've got $50, let's go find the best investment we can. Now we've seen a very interesting month for CS2 investing. That's specifically because of this graph right here. This is the Esports Funder 300. It's one of the graphs I refer to a lot because it's got a lot of interesting data. It can give us an overall consensus of the market. And if we want to look at it in the past month, we can see that precisely nothing has really happened inside of this area. It's a really good testament to what's going on inside of the current market because we haven't seen any major changes. We haven't even seen that major update that we thought was potentially going to come once a month. We really haven't seen anything, and it leads us to the current market today, which is really interesting and potentially a perfect opportunity for you, which we'll break down in just a minute. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with the top link in the description. They're here to cater to all of your CS2 and Rust skins need, as they're the top place for buying on some brand new skins, selling off your old skins, or trading your new CS2 skins for some new ones as well. They've got everything, and transactions are taking under 30 seconds right now. They also offer the most competitive rate out there as a massive 40% deposit bonus if you just top up today, and their selling feature is one of the best. With an instant cash out and many different payout options, there's no reason not to try them out today. Now, talking about our case market, there's a ton of information I want to get through. First up, let's start off with this. If we're looking at the active duty cases, they made up about 60% of the unboxings in 2023. We're probably going to be looking at 70 to 75% in 2024. That means these active duty cases are really people's go-to. That means the rare cases we're investing into, we have to make sure we're getting precisely the ones that people want. So let's break exactly those down. First up, snakebite case is going to be completely off my radar at the current moment. Its unboxing numbers have dipped drastically, and I don't think it's really competitive in the current market, even though it is the cheapest at this level. And when we're talking about rare cases, the cheaper rare cases are definitely ones that I'm still watching on the back burner. I guess you could include the snakebite here, but overall I think the Prisma 1, Prisma 2, these ones, Danger Zones, are definitely going to be ones that are a little bit more higher up on my horizon. But the big cases that I'm definitely looking at right now are going to be those more expensive, more stable cases. People are really flocking to them in the current moment. These are going to be your Revolver, your Wildfire, your Chromas, your Gammas, and your Spectrums. These are really in demand right now for them, relatively speaking. Obviously, they're not the most unboxed case, but they're also extremely expensive and have a lower supply. This is something we're going to be diving into later on in the video, but when we're looking at the overall current market, talking about how we need to capitalize off these lower unboxed numbers as to where they are right now, I think these are definitely going to be ones that you should definitely check out. Talking about Stockholm here, it's remained relatively unaffected. We talked about the application in a previous video, but obviously it's not the most ideal inside of this area. If you want to look at the current prices that a lot of these capsules are sitting at, it's once again relatively unaffected, which is decent, but when we're talking about the overall sticker market, Stockholm is the one that a lot of people are looking at, and the fact is we're not seeing much here. Looking at Antwerp, I will personally say this is the disappointment of the century here. There's a lot of great looking stickers in my personal opinion in Antwerp, but the truth is the current sticker market has really not allowed them to evolve and reach that price point that we saw previously, and unfortunately inside of this area there's really not an optimal time to get into the sticker market, especially with Antwerp sitting at the price point it is. It's extremely low, but the application numbers are once again just not at the point we would really need to see them to make a strong investment. Looking at the Paris data for the first time here, you can see it is a not optimal situation. If you want to look at it between June 4th and July 4th, which is this data we haven't covered yet, we can see every single square is red. That means it was lower than what it was previously, which is absolutely insane considering the fact that these are the cheapest stickers available on the market. But obviously people are just not interested in Paris. Everyone that wanted to craft with Paris has already done so. If you want new stickers, you can go Copenhagen. Unfortunately, when we look at the capsules, it's reflected here as well. These capsules have really been struggling. They're down to potentially 12 to 15 to 16 cents for a Steam price point. It's absolutely insane. Unfortunately, this is going to be an avoid once again. Now, breaking out our Copenhagen data for the first time, I believe, ever on this channel, we can see right here that the application numbers are not ideal. We can see specifically that every single square, once again, is red. However, this is a much different than Paris red. Obviously, these are capsules that are the most in demand right now, theoretically, because of their price point and just their release date. With that being said, I definitely think that these are going to be something that are going to fall off, and we can definitely see that. That's just what happens with every major. When I talk about most in demand, we're obviously talking about a very cheap price point, and honestly, they're definitely starting to lose that category. These are going below 25 cents right here. People are not really as in demand as they were a couple months ago. Obviously, we've got a very similar repetition to what we've seen with the previous stickers, and therefore, overall, Copenhagen really doesn't have too much market share that it can really take other than what we're seeing from Stockholm, Antwerp, and Paris. Basically, it has to come in and steal market share from those other capsules, which is what we've seen there, where those prices fall down, and unfortunately, Copenhagen is probably going to be a race to the bottom once again. Talking about the next potential update on the horizon, I actually think we're moving pretty close to something decently sized happening. Now, unfortunately, I can't say that it's going to be an operation. I honestly think an operation is pretty far out at the current moment, maybe closer to the actual major happening, but right now is a little bit of a downtime. There's no reason for Valve to create an operation or even release it at the current moment. But when we're talking about a case, we're starting to approach the timeline where I think it's very possible that Valve is going to come out with some brand new content. Looking at those unboxing numbers, they're down nearly 50%, and Valve does have a very strong incentive to keep those numbers up. Obviously, they are getting paid per the unboxed case, and right now the supply is definitely going up, but the truth is they want cases to be unboxed more than anything else, especially those Anubis packages. When we're talking about an update, I think a case is the most most likely outcome, but we could see some sort of combination come along with this. The base thing to remember is with a brand new case, obviously one of these 5 is going to be moved out of the active duty pool and into the rare drop pool. And the biggest thing I want to say with that is look at what happened to the snakebite in the clutch case. It's not guaranteed profit anymore, unfortunately. I really wish it was, but it's definitely not, so keep that in the back of your mind. Now, the actual sticker market has been going absolutely crazy lately, and I'm not talking about major stickers, I'm talking about the capsules you can buy from Valve. First up, the Loving Eyes sticker. You've probably seen a little bit about this, but basically people thought it was going to be copyright striked because of the imagery that was used on this sticker, and right now it's currently sitting at about 5x the price that it was previously. Couple big things with this. One, Valve's not going to make it contraband anymore. It doesn't make financial sense for them to do so. In fact, it's going to probably cost them a lot, but when we're talking about this, I think it's just going to be a small change. Otherwise, if you want to look at the overall capsules that you can buy from Valve, they're actually going really well right now. That's because people are not really interested in unboxing these right now, but rather they're interested in the stickers, and we're seeing some really high price points for a lot of these. Some of these actually over 100% ROI. Obviously, that doesn't include the Steam fee, so calculate it for yourself, but there's a lot of potential inside of this area if you're able to snatch some of these capsules and unbox some decent items. Now, starting off for what I'm buying, the first thing is going to be 75 of the recoil case. The truth is, I am not a big fan of the recoil case. It's a reused gold. I think overall it's going to struggle a lot, but the truth is we also need to make sure we're picking up some very, very long-term investments, and I think the recoil case is definitely that. It's a really cheap price point at only 13 cents a piece, and the truth is I definitely think it's going to get to a price point that's decent enough sometime. It's just going to take forever to get there, but right now when it's overall the market's not really doing too much, it could be a decent time to look at some really long-term investments. Secondly, I'm going to be picking up 5 of the Broken Fang case. Now right now is something we didn't talk about was discontinued cases. Now overall discontinued cases are going to be one of the best investments you can make theoretically because they can only have a decreasing supply, and obviously they're still being unboxed at a mass amount. Broken Fang is going to be the pinnacle of this area. It's stronger than the Riptide, it's stronger than Shattered Web, and when we're looking at it, obviously it's a more expensive price point than anything else we're going to be talking about on this list. It's relatively expensive for a case, but the truth is it's going to be a really safe long-term play, and that's exactly what we're looking for as part of a diversification, especially in some cases here. Third up is going to be the Antwerp Contender sticker capsule. Now you can absolutely call me insane because this thing is definitely not on an increasing trajectory. We talked about it earlier, but the truth is this is one capsule I've got a lot of faith in. I really like some of the stickers when we're talking about 9Z and Eternal Fire. I think they're decent. Outsiders is in there as well. There's a couple stickers in there that I definitely think could be breakouts. Obviously, it's definitely not in a condition right now where it's going to be increasing anytime soon, but when we're talking about the overall sticker market, I think once it starts going back up, which I hope eventually it will, this is going to be one of the sticker capsules that a lot of people are thinking about being there. And finally, because we talked about it earlier, I had to go ahead and pick up myself 5 Spectrum 2 cases. Now, I went with the Spectrum 2 over something like the Chromas or the Gammas for a couple big reasons. First up, those are going to be more expensive. The truth is, we're on a budget in this series. We only have $50 per episode, and the Spectrum 2 is on the cheaper end of some of these more legacy-ish cases, and I think that's definitely something you need to consider. Plus, when we're talking about it, it's got the Butterfly Ruby, Butterfly Sapphire, 2 very desirable knives that I think are going to be increasingly seen in demand when we're talking about a potential explosion from CS2. That's all I got with the case, and we're talking about today.